What's up with it, man? It's the kid Pushman Mitch, host of the No Fluff Podcast, aka Swag Whips Bag. You already know the vibes. I'm in this joint with my brother. Run plays with me, not them, but me. You feel me? And we about to get this money talk, man. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? What's the vibe?
I don't think they seen you in a minute, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we gotta always bring bro. So if y'all don't know who my brother is, Run Play. This is my actual blood brother. He's my younger brother, but he's bigger, kinda. He can't beat me though. But yeah, no, this is me. We are co-owners of all my companies, so you know what's mine is his, what's his is mine. So you already know if you see me with a car, that's his car too. You see me with a house, that's his house too. So me and him work together to build this empire, and we're gonna do it till the wheels fall off, bro. You having fun yet?
Always having fun. Gotta make it fun, man, or you're gonna die out here.
I know, cause we work harder than most people work, bro.
That's the truth. I don't think people know the vibes for real. How hard we be going out here on a daily basis.
I'm pretty sure that people think that we got it made and that we already just, for some reason, money just comes to us without us doing no work, no effort. But they don't know we work 25/8. Like, we literally been working around the clock, especially with a lot of the new ventures we've been doing with our marketing company.
Yep.
So we've been working around the clock 25/8, flying to different cities. Houston, we've been to Miami, we've been to Orlando. We're going to LA in July, end of July. This marketing thing is serious, man.
Go crazy. It take a lot of work, but you know that's what success is. All people see is the actual success, you know, the glam, and they don't even really know how much work you gotta keep putting in and keep putting in and keep putting in.
So give them some advice, bro. So let's think. Like, we know what we do. We know how hard we work. What can somebody who's like, as an entry level entrepreneur, like, give them some advice on where they can head towards soon as they start out, like something that can make them get a big boost?
I think the first thing you got to do when you thinking about getting into business for yourself is actually come up with a business plan.
Okay.
So a lot of people only think they need a business plan when they're going for funding or trying to talk to banks and build those relationships, but you actually need it for yourself so you can have something to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you got to hold yourself accountable. It's easy for you to just get out here and make a couple dollars this day and be like, I'm cool. Next day, you don't go as hard. Next day, you know what I mean? But if you got that actual plan, you can build that consistency that you want.
Okay, so start off with a business plan. And then, like, how do they keep themselves motivated? Like, I mean, if I start off with a business plan, like, how many times would a person go back and look at that business plan? Like, how would you give them some tips to, like, stay motivated?
I mean, actually, you should give yourself goals, though.
Okay.
So if you do weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals when you first starting out, it'll help you stay consistent. Because that way you can always have something to refer back to when that week is over, when that month is over, when that year is over. And you can have something to actually, like I said, hold yourself accountable to those goals and see if you are reaching them. Right. And if you're not, now you can strategize and see what else you got to do to meet further goals in the future.
That's dope. I think that's good advice. I mean, I wish we had somebody to tell us how it was going to be when we first started, because we ain't have that. I mean, I know you remember when I first was like, yo, let's go get a kiosk in the mall.
Oh, yeah, for real.
And you was like, look, I'm working at Grady. I got a daughter. How do you know that we're going to make this money? Right. And I was just like, I don't know. I said, it's only going to be as much as we work. And then, you basically made me show you that it could work.
Right.
And then after that, you was on board, and then we just been doing it ever since. It's been years. That was like 2014. Mm-hmm. It's 2023. We've been running multi-million-dollar businesses like it's nothing now. And like, people really think like we got this super large corporation, but it's only a few of us, a few VAs. We got Lee doing all of the HR work, and we hustling ourselves. It's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, would you change anything?
I don't think I would change anything, because all the mistakes that we made, it kind of made us stronger right now. Mm-hmm. Because if we didn't make those mistakes, we didn't go through those trials and tribulations. Mm-hmm. I didn't see you grinding, putting in sweat, tears, blood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If we didn't have the doubters, the people behind us saying you shouldn't do that, things are stupid, quitting jobs, keep that, benefits and all of that.
Facts.
If all that didn't happen to us, we wouldn't be as strong and confident in what we're doing now. But it's like you said we running this like with no problem. It's not no problem. That's not even said to people.
Right. It's not no problem. It's problems.
You know what I'm saying? But stuff becomes no problem when you're able to accept the problems that come with it.
Fact. I think it's all. I'm gonna attribute it to the lender. Like, our new lender we just got.
Right.
So we made a relationship with a pretty notable bank, and they were asking me like, how do you handle, like, how are you going to handle this business as it grows? Like, are you trying to do it for a little while? Is it 6 months and you done? Because they're funding us for a lot of money, like, per client. And basically what I told them was, it's not that it won't be any issues. There's going to be issues, but it just matters on how you handle it after an issue arises.
Yep.
So we don't never try to promise that, oh yeah, we're gonna be able to do everything 100%. So we talking to banks who like literally when they see us, they need double verification.
Right.
So they looked us up, they looked up our companies, they looked for any bad reviews because they wouldn't have messed with us. But now they rocking with us because we pulling in millions of dollars like in a week, and they're like, oh my God, like these dudes are really serious. Maybe I can talk to them and see. So when I talked to them, so that they wanted me to tell them that it wasn't going to be no problems. But I think what I told them was better. I said, it's going to be problems, but we're prepared to handle it if a problem arises. We're prepared to take accountability if it arises, and we don't want to have anybody not being able to handle the amount of funding that we're getting, and we'll be able to, any loose ends we'll tie them, and we're willing to sacrifice pennies to make sure we continue to get dollars.
Right.
So that's the thing, man. Like people try to act like this stuff is glitz and glamour, like you said, and it's a lot. Like Ace tell you.
But even with that being said, you being able to answer that question during those negotiation or conversations, that's because problems come with everything.
Right.
And success always comes with after the problem. You get
right.
what I'm saying?
I think people lie, and like that's their view of us. Like when they see us on social media with the cars and the houses, they look at us like, oh, they have no problems.
Yeah.
But really, we just understand their problems as part of the game. Like, look, damn the problems.
Right.
Like,
what's the solution?
What's the solution? It's always going to be a problem. For every problem that you fix, there's going to be 10 more problems created. Yeah. So like we solved one issue. Like, okay, cool. People need economy cars to be able to drive for Uber and Lyft. They don't have their own credit. They don't have cash, so they can rent one. We solved one problem. Then it led to another issue, right? Okay, the next issue that comes up is like, all right, cool. Now we got all these cars that we have financed. Like, who's gonna wash them? That's another problem we gotta fix. All right, cool. Now we got these cars getting washed and rented out, but who's gonna do the maintenance? It's another problem we gotta fix. Who's gonna do the body work? It's another problem we gotta fix. And then for every problem that you solve, there's always going to be more problems made, which means it's more money. Yep. So when a lot of people hear multiple sources of revenue, they always think different businesses. Nah, it's just the same industry but multiple streams. So what we did was we got the car wash situation. We get our own in-house body guys, our own mechanics, and we don't go out. We don't never venture off nowhere to get the cars fixed. We do it at the same place.
Yep.
And that brings us more money in our pocket because we have our own body shop, we have our own mechanics, we have all of these things that we can use in-house, and we pay them.
Yep.
And then we make them an independent contractor for our company. We also write that off as well. So a lot of people, you got to just really figure out the best way to make multiple sources come from one actual river. So multiple streams from one river. So I mean, that's the thing. So just accept the problems, welcome the problems, but just be solution based. If you can be that way, y'all can literally start a business today and be able to you just be willing to just keep going regardless of what happens.
Yeah, because in business, with success comes more problems regardless.
Right.
The more you have, the more opportunity for problems to arrive, no matter what the case may be, no matter what business you're doing, who you're doing business with, and if you're doing business with a lot of different people, more problems can arise that way.
All right, so let's talk about problems then. All right, so we had been in the rental car game for more than 8 years now. And what's some problems that we see in the rental car game a lot? Like what's an issue or something that, that most people, it would scare them from getting into the business, but it happens to us all the time?
All right, so I think the biggest thing that scares people away from the rental car game is really understanding the insurance game, right? Okay. Because if you're in the rental car game, you in the insurance game as well.
Facts.
So a lot of people, they scared of wrecks, they scared of crashes and all of these type of different things that can happen to cars, which that just comes with it. And then since that's a problem that gonna come with it, you just gotta have an answer, or a possibility of answers, different answers for the same problem. You get what I'm saying? Because it's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And you gotta understand that going into any industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the rental car industry, that's the biggest problem that scare people away. So it's just dealing with car crashes, dealing with wrecks, dealing with damages, missing cars, these type of different things.
So we deal with that too, right?
Oh, we deal with that.
We're not above
Crazy.
that.
We deal with it all the time. We still deal with it now.
Literally, before we did this interview, my brother just finished picking a Range Rover up, putting it back with the fleet, and we just jumped in here and just started doing the interview. So we're still right now currently in the rental car game. We're not It's one of our favorite games. It's the one that got us, that made our first $1 million, and we love to do it. It's fun. It's a networking resource. It's relationship builder. Also, the revenue is cool, and also we are able to get higher trade lines to be able to get more expensive cars in the future via our businesses that we PG or whatever the case may be. So we love the rental car game.
Yes, indeed.
So also we're in the Airbnb game. All right. So do we have issues with the Airbnb game?
We have issues with Airbnb.
Give them some issues that we go through in the Airbnb.
All right. So the biggest issues that people would have with Airbnb or short-term rentals, I really only like using Airbnb anymore.
Right, STR, yeah, because we do so much more
short-term
Airbnb.
rentals. It's
yeah,
you know, we maximize.
But that's the
on
word
that.
they like to hear.
Yeah,
Airbnb.
so just so they know what we're talking about.
Right.
Airbnb.
Facts.
So just the biggest thing probably be guest damaging things or taking things out the home and all of that, right? So we damaging your house and everything, so you just got to be prepared for that. So how you get prepared for those different type of things, you got to have certain type of maintenance people on call that can come and fix these things in a timely manner so you can be ready for next bookings. How you understand people won't be taking stuff from the house, you got to have surveillance on the outside of the house so you can understand who's coming on off the property and be able to be alerted at any motion. That's why we got motion sensors on our cameras so we can understand what's going on.
Facts.
So that a lot of different things can scare you, but that's the main thing that scares you in the Airbnb business.
Right. So let's talk about some of the scams that people be doing. Let's talk rentals first. Like some scams that people do in the rental car game and they try to get over on us, and then we'll talk about a couple short-term rental Airbnb ones.
Okay.
So give them a rental car one that people be doing.
Scam. So a lot of people, what they do is they book your car and then they try to steal it. So they'll book it for a day or they'll book it for a couple days.
Right.
The biggest thing they do, they probably book it for a few days and then now they're going to be taking the VINs off and all of that stuff during those days. Now it's time to get your car at the end of their term, and they go missing on you.
Right.
So that's some things that people been trying to do, and they do it with certain cars, right? So certain cars gonna get stolen all the time. That's gonna be the Chargers, the type of cars that people like to do burnouts and donuts and drive fast and all of that type of stuff. Those are gonna be the cars that's trying to get stolen on a consistent basis.
Challengers, Chargers,
and we've been through that. You know what I'm saying? We've been through that.
Facts.
Luckily, on most of them, we were able to catch people in the act. We were able to understand what's going on. That's with geofencing. That's with social media. You watching people's social media because people telling themselves all the time.
Every time.
It's crazy. But and that's something that people don't even ask their renters if they can get their social media. Let me follow you.
Very
Stuff
good
like
bar.
that.
So this is the real play. So you got to have a Finsta. You got to have a Finsta that your personal account doesn't follow. So they won't see that y'all mutual. So you follow him off the Finsta, and then you can make sure whatever they doing, whatever spicy stuff they getting into, you can be able to figure it out. And that's really the thing. And then you can look at their tag posts, like where they've been tagged, and you can follow their friends on there off the Finsta, and then you'll be able to pretty much catch anybody. That's barbecue sauce right there.
Yep.
That's a big one. So a lot of people definitely they try to get over, and a lot of times the issue is that the people who are doing this, they're ignorant, so they don't realize that when they flex on the gram, they normally snitching on themselves.
Yep.
So we had a guy steal a car, and he immediately flexing like, oh, I got a title to my car, showing it, and then we was able to catch him pretty quickly because he tried to make a fake title for the car and sell it off somewhere else. But we get him pretty quickly because we do those things. He also mentioned geofencing. Geofencing is basically you just put up a geofence. It's like a fake, like not fake, but a electronic GPS fence based off of like the outskirts of the city. You can set up if they pass a certain place, like a certain highway or a certain miles outside of the city, it'll actually ring an alert for us so we know that they're going out of town, and that'll let us know to be able to start kill switching the car, cutting off the starter or whatever the case may be, so we can go retrieve the car immediately. So those are things you can do to kind of counteract that. We want to tell you the problems, but also tell you the solutions while we still keep doing it, because all those problems that we go through in a rental car game or you might go through, we've been through all of them. Like worst case scenario, I'm talking about thefts, people been shootouts, everything. We've been through pretty much all of it. Like deaths in
the car.
People been, all of those things. So everything that you can possibly ever go through in a rental car game, we've been through it, and we still here, and we still are profitable. We still have fun. You just got to know your policy procedures. You got to know certain things to take advantage of it. This is the 21st century, man. You got AI out here. You got all type of stuff. But make sure you understand. Get that Finsta or get a friend of a friend that doesn't follow you to go ahead and follow them. But I think the Finsta is the easiest way. That's the play for y'all. So let's give them some short-term rental problems, some Airbnb issues.
Oh, the biggest one is people try to throw parties all the time.
Unauthorized parties.
Yep.
Unauthorized parties, when we actually allow events, all you got to do is pay the event fee, allow us to actually get a permit for this party or this event so we don't fuck up our neighborhood and mess up our STR license.
Yep.
Our STR license can be taken or revoked if we are misusing the property, because if you have an event and there's going to be parking, there's going to be loud music, you got certain hours of the night that people can't be loud, there's ordinances, so we got to make sure we stay in compliance for our own property, or we'll end up having a high-ass mortgage on something that we can't profit off of, and that puts me in a bad position. So that's why we can't have the parties unauthorized our events. We want to have one. If you want to have the event, just simply pay the fee, allow me to get the permit with the city, let us have our staff there, making sure nobody's doing nothing they're not supposed to do, and we can have an event.
It'll be good.
But
be nice
people,
and smooth.
But people don't do that. They try to rent the spot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then do the little unauthorized party, get kicked out. We end up keeping the money regardless, and we kick them out early. So let me tell y'all some things y'all can do right now. So this is the easiest way to handle these things. So we have 24/7 surveillance for ours. So we're dealing with mansions. So what we do is we hire security that does rounds 24/7. We also put that on our listing, so they know before they book it that we have a house house security that is 24/7 surveillance. They know that. Also, they monitor our cameras. So they look at our camera system. We use Vivint. I'll drop the link below so y'all can sign up if y'all want to. But we use Vivint. They monitor our cameras and they do 24/7 surveillance. We also let them know that there are no parties that are unauthorized. We will not allow it. As soon as we find out, we will be removing you from the property. We tell them that during the walkthrough. We also, when they make a booking, we also call to confirm what they're using it for. We actually ask them what they're doing, and they most of the time they will lie. And if they lie and we find out that they're trying to invite more people, because you cannot have more than the amount of guests that you book for, of course they can come and stop by. But if it's more than 14 people on the property at once, that is an event. No matter how you cut it, no matter what you're trying to say, party, get together, more than 14 people is an event. And it is also illegal to do in certain counties. In Sandy Springs, where we live, you cannot have more than 14 people in the property. That is considered an event with the city, so we can't do nothing about it. So, long story short, if you try to do that, the security, that's one deterrent. So once they see that, normally they'll be like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to either try to get a refund, which they cannot because we have a strict no refund policy. So make sure you have a strict no refund policy. And you also let them know in very, very clear in the description what's going on, because that will make sure Airbnb will definitely give you the money when they try to cancel last minute. Also, another thing that you can use to deter them, or if an issue already happens, you want to have, should I tell them this one? All right, so you want to have a siren. So you want to have a siren in your house. If you can get a siren system set up in your property, it'll be very, very annoying to a guest that's not complying. So let's say if they have an event and you say, hey, look, shut down the event. They say, nah, they just ignoring you. They still having their event. They're still inviting people. You simply turn on the siren. They cannot do anything about this. The siren will go off all the way. It's already ran through the whole property. So it's just going to be a very, very annoying sound. So all their guests will leave. That's one. Two, also, you want to have you want to be able to cut off the switch box. So we cut off the power on them. If we have to do an event, like if we come in, let's just say someone starts to do a party and we already said, look, the party's unauthorized, you can't have it, you guys have to leave. They continue letting guests come in, continue letting people pull up. We don't do anything but shut off the lights, turn on the siren. They will leave. But also, we would come there, if we got to come there and shut it down early, it's normally 15 minutes in. We pretty get up. Then we don't get them too long. 15, 20 minutes into the party, we got them. Now, to avoid all of that is always going to be your listing and how descriptive you are. Now, if you're doing this privately or on Peerspace or you're doing it on VRBO, you have to be very, very descriptive and make sure on your walkthroughs you tell them that we do allow events if you get a permit, if you set it up with us, if you allow us to have staff. But if not, do not allow it, because if you rely on these people, they do not care about you. They don't care about your mortgage being $20,000 a month, $15,000 a month, and you can't rent it out no more, you can't afford that no more. They don't care about your neighbors not rocking with you no more, calling the cops every single time you do anything there. They don't care about the city watching everything you move, and if you want to get a permit to do some type of construction on your property, it will be 7 years before you get it passed through. They don't care about that. They care about themselves and their party for one day, and then they're leaving. So you have to protect your house, you have to protect your brand, your business, and your company by making sure you got the right type of security. Anything you want to add to?
Nah, you pretty much nailed it.
So you want to make sure that you got it all concrete, foolproof, and make sure anything, especially when you do private, you want to make sure you take a deposit. and you want to make sure you put in red, bold letters clearly everything that you will be taking the money for, be that unauthorized parties, unauthorized cars, smoking, inside, outside of property, anything the case may be, damaging things, whatever. Put everything on the contract. Make sure, because a lot of deposits in the STR game will be taken. We love the game. I love it. We got people in the house right now. They just checked out like a couple hours ago. But we get very, very large returns on these short-term rentals. And I think you guys should get into it. Don't be scared. We just want to tell you we don't want you to think it's all smooth, because we get a lot of money. We had $18,000 days, we had $20,000 days, we had $5,000 days, $2,000 days. But we always make very, very good returns on these properties. But we have to be diligent. We have to make sure we protect our properties by doing all of the work first and not waiting until something happens. So it's part of the game. Just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
All the bad stuff that come with the game, you just got to prep for it. Anything that you can think about before you get in the game yourself, just understand that you have to have preparations in place to protect you from those things happening. Or if they do happen, what's going to be the next step? That all comes with your policies and procedures. That's why you should be thinking about these at the beginning rather than go through problems and then start thinking about your policies and procedures.
That's facts. Also, we do social media marketing advertisement, right? So there's pros and cons to social media marketing and advertisement. As you know, we put ourselves on Front Street. We display, we teach people what we do, which is always going to be frowned upon, especially even our community. We have questions like the dumbest questions you'll ever hear. If you're really making money in this particular industry, why you're teaching it? Because I like to help people. Right. But it's very common practice for other influencers. There are people who point out scams, point out, not to trust anyone online. So that's a negative side of what we do as well. So how do you handle the negative side of social media?
I mean, if you're going to be putting yourself out there, it's going to come with the negative. People going to have things to say about you, and that's just with anything, though.
Right.
If I say I'm starting this business, it's going to be 10 people that say that's a horrible idea, you shouldn't do it, you should go get you a 9-to-5 and work for somebody else for the rest of your life. But then it's going to be those select few that's like, okay, yeah, you can do that business, I'm going to invest in that vision right there, and I can believe in you. You get what I'm saying? And those are the people that actually are going to believe in themselves. And that's how when you mentoring and you got mentees, you should take the mentees that are serious. That's very serious, right? So you can understand that they want to go far, so you can invest in actually pushing them further. Right. Because otherwise, if you got mentees that's not serious, or you just taking people, it's going to be taking advantage of your time, and they're just going to be wasting theirs. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. So what I heard Tyler Perry say something pretty much the dopest vision. Like, he's basically talked about his brand and how a lot of people were telling him he should do this, he shouldn't do that, he should be doing these type of movies, he should cater to these type of people. And he said, I can't even see none of those people down there that's saying that, because I'm focused on these people right here that see my vision, that like my content, that rock with what I'm doing. So I think the easiest way to do it, and it's very hard regardless, but the easiest way to do it is to focus on the people who focusing on you. Like, focus on the people who do rock with your vision, do rock with your brand, do rock with your campaigns, do want to mess with your programs and stuff like that. And I think it'd be hard to really hear all of the nonsense, noise, and stuff like that, because we know our intentions, we know what we want to do, we know if we have to or if we don't have to. And I think it's a lot of negativity surrounding around online coaching and teaching businesses. But the thing about it is, there's nothing wrong with making money from teaching something that you have mastered or you have developed a skill in. We only teach from behind us, right? So basically, we don't teach on things that we haven't done. We only teach on things that we actually do, see results from, have social proof and receipts. So that's why we take mentorship, because we actually have the experience that someone cannot Google. You can't Google like this stuff that we just talked about with the siren, just stuff that talked about having the security and the staff and getting the permits. Those are things that you do not even know to Google. So you wouldn't know that. So it would be actually a disservice for us not to teach it, and then allow, even knowing that there are people who prey on our community and prey on people, that they will mess up them people, like listening to the wrong information. Right. So I would rather be the person who say, fuck it, I got to take the negativity that comes with it. It's just part of the game. Like, there's a negative side to everything. I was talking, this is a good one. I was talking like, some people were saying bad things about police officers, right? They was, oh man, cops, man, these people do that. I said, so, and they was like, yeah, I hate a black cop and da-da-da-da. I said, so let me ask you a question, and I think about it like this. Would you rather have a police force full of all white people? And that's the response. Right. So you trying to say that the police force should completely be all white, then, because you don't like a black cop. I said that's the first issue, because now we're gonna be being policed by people who don't understand our culture, us. They don't have anybody that's gonna protect us in the case where there could be something to do with violence, or you see all it's police killing guys out here.
Right.
But still, like you won't have nobody that even has a voice of reason there, and it's gonna be disproportionately policed.
And another take on police and everything like that goes with law enforcement. Since we are, since we view our culture views the police as we do,
right.
It's kind of like making a kid. So if a kid get in trouble, or a kid's in trouble, he actually needs a cop. He wouldn't call a cop, right? So it's putting us at a disadvantage on another level as well,
right?
Because we all perceive as a culture, it's kind of like all cops are bad or black cops are bad,
right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
When that's actually not the case, and I think it needs to be a better way we, communicate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we don't even understand what we're saying when we're talking or making imagine if you make a black police officer feel bad. It's like you would rather make his job hard. He has a very difficult job to be protecting people from, it can be, a majority of uniformed police officers protect people from like DUI. People can go out there, get drunk, kill your wife, kill your husband. And you like, oh, I don't want no black cops or whatever. Man, you got to really think about giving them a hard time when they got a very difficult job to go out there and do, knowing the negativity and the premise that comes with being a police officer. So I always think about that. And it's just something that they need to think about. Like there's a negative side to everything. So, but we still got to pursue and persevere through all of the bullshit and still keep a level head. And it does a lot of mental wear and tear to us. I know definitely to me, I'm online a lot. And I put myself out there a lot. And I confront the criticism that comes to me. So that it can do mental wear and tear, like where there's people who will question, a certain strategy that you might teach. And anybody who's ever done that with me, I've always been able to speak to them like an adult. Right. And if I say something wrong, it happens. Like there are things that I can say that can be considered as incorrect. And if I do something that I can see that is incorrect, I can definitely apologize for it and move forward. But the problem is I see with a lot of us, when someone is confronting them, I don't think it's correct to confront somebody that you don't know. Like I don't think it's not confront, but to call someone out that you don't know, that you haven't reached out to privately. Right. I don't think it's cool, because now if you reach out to somebody privately and then they don't respond, and then you want to educate people on a certain topic, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that also the people who call those people out, they need to call the right people out too. So all right, he's probably not doing this the correct way. And another way you could look at it is he should probably do it this one. I don't know where he learned that from, but I reached out to him and I'll see if he want to talk about it. So maybe we can figure out what it is. That sounds way doper than these dudes are frauds. Like I think it sounds better. And then also after you do that, say, hey, look, these guys over here, they going crazy. Pretty good track record. Everything that I've seen them do publicly has been legit. You should probably rock with these guys if you want to invest in anything like that, because the people who are trying to avoid people from investing and taking risk are limiting their beliefs, limiting their resources, limiting their ability to level up, because you have to invest and become wealthy. There's no way around it. You can't save your way into it. You can't spend your way into it. You have to invest. You have to literally invest in trying to get higher education in marketing, advertisement, employees, financial literacy, taxes, many things. You cannot do it without investing. So I just think that our mindset and the fear mongering that's going on it really needs to be talked about, because people, that's why I decided to have this topic with you today. Like, let's tell them some things that be going wrong. But did we stop? No, we still keep going. So from every industry that we ever started, credit repair businesses, all of these things, they have a negative side connotation to it, but we're not gonna, because there are things that can go wrong, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. If you open up a convenience store, it can be robbed. It can be set on fire. There's no safe business. You can do an online business, they can black out the internet, and then somebody can hack your site just like they did, like Robinhood, and then have everybody's information be going. That can tear your business to smithereens. So there's a bad side to every single industry, business, period. There's a risk, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. That means to even go harder. Like, just go harder. No matter what happens,
I mean,
go harder.
with that being said, I mean, it's just, you grow more with pain, from pain. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
like
every loss that we take in, every mistake that we had made, that was pain right there, and it made us learn. If we was just, say we came in the game, we was just always successful. Never made a mistake. Never had an accident. Never had somebody try to steal a car. Never had nobody stepping on cars. Nobody never dealt with smoking in a car. We wouldn't have no policies at all.
None.
Because we didn't create no policies until these things came about.
That's a fact.
You get what I'm saying?
That is a fact.
So pain creates growth faster than success would.
That's
you get
dope.
what I'm saying?
No, that's a fact. That's a and a lot of people don't think about it that way. Like, we wouldn't have had the policies like what we changed our smoking policies to, our deposits to, if nothing ever happened.
Yep.
Like, and now we have such a good concrete contract that if anything happens, we're covered in so many cases because we went through the pain of not having it.
Yep.
And imagine if we just stopped, we just did it for nothing. Now we able to get these type of cars now, no problem. We go to the lot, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, McLaren, and now it's up from here. So that's what this episode is about. So I hope y'all able to take some away from this right here, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the Vibe, because we're going to be getting into all of the things that you need to know as an entrepreneur on No Fluff the podcast. This is your boy Pushman Mitch, and Run Plays with me. Make sure you follow both of us if you don't already on IG, and make sure you subscribe to No Fluff, because it's tough. You dig? We out.
We out.